Welcome to today's Explainer. We are looking at something absolutely transformative today. For those of you wanting to stay completely ahead of the curve, we're mapping out the year 2027. And look, I really want to frame 2027 not as some far-off sci-fi fantasy, but as the exact tipping point where today's lab prototypes actually become the commercial realities for global industries. So whether you're a business leader trying to figure out long-term investments, or just someone curious about where the world is heading, consider this breakdown your personal roadmap.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Just imagine for a second, what happens when your phone actually heals its own scratches and AI runs your errands for you? It sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But the incredible reality is that self-healing materials and autonomous agents are rapidly entering the consumer space. We're moving away from tech that constantly demands our attention and maintenance toward technology that anticipates what we need and literally repairs itself. This shift is going to fundamentally rewire consumer expectations and, by extension, entire economies.
To make sense of this massive shift, we've put together an executive blueprint. We'll be walking through 4 key areas: transforming your daily routine, the new era of healthcare, upgrading global infrastructure, and finally, commercializing deep tech. Let's get into it.
Starting with Section 1, transforming your daily routine. We're looking at how to completely simplify the everyday consumer experience. We're seeing this rapid convergence of hardware and software that's designed to automate daily busywork and just completely eliminate those everyday frustrations. Right now, we're totally used to static smart speakers sitting on our counters and smartphones stuffed into our pockets. But by 2027, we're shifting toward wearable smart glasses from companies like Meta, Apple, and Xreal. These will overlay digital tasks right into your field of view, basically replacing the phone screen altogether. And those static smart speakers? They're being replaced by actual, moving, autonomous home robots. Technology is stepping out of our pockets and becoming an active participant in our physical world.
If you want to know how real this is, just follow the money. Dyson has poured a staggering $3 billion into home robotics, meaning we aren't far from a robot that actually picks up stray toys off the living room floor for you. Amazon has Astro, which is a robot designed specifically for home patrol and security footage. And Toyota? They're developing kitchen robots that use object recognition to handle cooking tasks. I mean, finally, an end to burning dinner, right? These aren't just lab concepts anymore. These are massive corporate investments driving robotics into everyday commercial products that simplify our routines.
Now, while robots handle the physical world, AI agents are taking over the digital one. Companies like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic are building systems that don't just answer your questions, they actually take action. They'll book your flights, draft your emails, generate code, and even process refunds quietly in the background. Now pair that software autonomy with hardware resilience, specifically self-healing tech. Stanford and the University of Illinois have developed these amazing shape-shifting polymers that actually reconnect after being torn. Imagine dropping your phone, getting a crack, and having the screen literally heal itself overnight. Or protective skin for those home robots we just talked about. MIT is even testing this stuff for extreme environments, like keeping expensive space satellites functioning longer without needing human repair. Moving right along to Section 2, the new era of healthcare. This is all about hyper-personalized, AI-driven care.
All right, I really want this number to sink in for a second. 200 million. That is the sheer scale of protein shapes predicted by DeepMind's AI system, AlphaFold. Why is this such a big deal? Well, mapping proteins used to take years and years of painstaking lab work. By predicting 200 million shapes, AI is drastically accelerating drug discovery. Pharmaceutical giants like Pfizer and Moderna are already using these exact AI models to design and test new drug candidates way faster than ever before.
We are completely shifting how we actually monitor our health too. We're moving away from those manual, periodic doctor checkups to continuous, remote monitoring. Research labs, like the ones at the University of Missouri, are developing wireless, implantable sensors that track your glucose, oxygen, and hormones in real time, right under your skin. When you combine this continuous data stream with AI-designed treatments, like that first FDA-approved AI drug for chronic lung disease from In Silico Medicine, you get a health system that acts before a crisis happens, not after.
And it absolutely doesn't stop at sensors and drugs. Look at brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. A Stanford BCI system actually allowed a paralysis patient to type 90 characters per minute just by imagining handwriting. It's wild. Neuralink has FDA clearance for human trial for cursor control. Globally, we're testing implants for speech and controlling robotic arms, giving people with spinal injuries completely new ways to communicate. On top of that, medical training is getting a massive upgrade.
Companies like Lightfield Lab and MIT are creating 3D holographic displays, and get this, without even needing a headset, so medical students can rotate and study virtual organs in thin air.
Next up is Section 3, upgrading global infrastructure. We're talking about moving goods, data, and carbon.
$70 billion. According to PwC, that is the staggering amount of investment that has flowed into climate tech in just the last couple of years alone. We're no longer just talking about theoretical environmental defense here. We are looking at highly lucrative, commercially viable industries.
So, the crucial point is how these massive investments translate into physical infrastructure by 2027. In climate tech, you've got companies like Climeworks building commercial carbon capture plants, and Microsoft is already buying up that captured carbon. Out in the oceans, autonomous robots from projects like Interceptor are being deployed to collect plastic waste offshore. And in logistics, Waymo, Cruise, and Walmart are pushing driverless deliveries right onto public streets, while pilot cities use AI to adjust traffic signals in real time. We are entirely overhauling the physical layer of our global economy.
But it's not just the physical layer, it's the connectivity layer as well. Let's look at the timeline. Back in 2024, SpaceX tested direct-to-cell connections, and AST SpaceMobile actually made a video call from space to a totally unmodified smartphone. Fast forward to 2026, and major carriers are going to expand this to broad emergency messaging. And by 2027, the foundations for 6G will be built globally, and satellite networks will finally cover those remote areas where traditional cell towers were never economically viable. For investors, this right here is your clear roadmap to complete, unbroken global connectivity.
Which brings us to our final section, number 4, commercializing deep tech, taking things straight from lab prototypes to actual commercial viability.
On one hand, we've got the incredibly microscopic. The world just generates way too much data for traditional hard drives now, so institutions like the University of Washington and IBM are successfully encoding massive digital files into synthetic DNA. We are literally turning to biological structures for data storage and using living cells for biocomputing to simulate diseases. Then, on the totally other extreme, we have quantum computing. Companies like Quantinuum and IBM are creating error-corrected qubits, which are stable quantum data points, to run complex chemical modeling, stuff that would take traditional supercomputers thousands of years to solve. Traditional computing limits are just being completely shattered.
And honestly, the ultimate deep tech commercialization is fusion energy, creating clean power by fusing atoms, literally just like the sun. Step 1 was already achieved in 2022 when Lawrence Livermore hit net energy gain using lasers. Step 2 is happening as we speak, with experimental reactors being built across Europe, China, Japan, and South Korea to handle those extreme temperatures. Step 3 is all about scaling that efficiency and repeating the reactions consistently. The target is 2027 for larger test reactors and eventually commercial grids. It is systematically moving right from a lab milestone toward the very next generation of clean power.
Which leaves us with one incredibly vital question to think about. How will your industry pivot when these 15 isolated trends merge into a unified reality by 2027? We've seen how homes are going to automate, how healthcare will hyper-personalize, how infrastructure is adapting, and how deep tech is finally commercializing. The future isn't just approaching, it is already being built in labs and tested in markets today. Your opportunity as a focused learner and as a forward-thinking leader is to prepare for this convergence right now. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today, and I highly encourage you to keep exploring these trends. Until next time, stay curious and stay focused.